Assalam-o-Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is going to be our fifth video from the book Tasheel Un Nahw. And as we have already discussed in our earlier lessons, that first, as a warm-up and revision, we are going to study few basic concepts of Arabic grammar, especially related to Nahw and Nahw, on which this book is based on. And after finishing those basic concepts and rulings of all the topics covered in Nahw, we will go back to the book and we'll continue with that, inshallah. But still, if you think these are very basics for you, then I suggest you to skip the fifth, sixth, or maybe seventh video and just start watching from the let's say ninth video. And from the ninth video, I have started teaching from the book directly, and from 1 to 8 these videos are related with a Tasheel Un Nahw book, but I haven't teach you from the book itself. So if you want to learn directly from book, watch from the videos number 9 or ask for the video 9. And if you are comfortable with going with from basic to the advanced level, then I suggest you and highly recommend you to continue with this one. So today, inshallah, we are going to learn the types of ism based on Arab, and also the few left topic from the Marifa Nakira chapter, that is Ism Ishara, Ism Mausool, Zamir. And after finishing those topics, I will be teaching you the one of the left out types of Murakkab Naqis, that is Murakkab Tawsifi Mawsuf Sifat. And once we finish all these chapters, I will directly jump to Marfuat, Mansubat and Majrurat. So from 5, 6, 7 and 8, in 6th video I will be discussing Marfuat, in 7th Mansubat, and in 8 Majrurat and the other few basic concepts of grammar. And from 9th video we will be starting directly learning from Tasheel Un Nahw. Let me remind you again why we are not directly learning from Tasheel Un Nahw book, because Tasheel Un Nahw book is not written for the beginners. Tasheel Un Nahw book is generally taught in madrasa in the second year, when you have already finished the few basic Arabic grammar books of Nahw and Sarf. But as a beginner, if you are directly starting from Tasheel Un Nahw, you will be very confused and you will find the Nahw learning very difficult. So that's why I am assuming that even though if you are a beginner and you have started Tasheel Un Nahw as your first book of Arabic grammar, it's okay to go with this, but first learn the basics which I have taught you from videos number 1 to 8. So in this class, the objective of our today class is we are going to learn about the types of ism based on Arab, and then we are going to learn the few things which we have skipped in our earlier class of Marifa Nakira chapter, that is Ism Ishara, Ism Mausool and Zamir. And after finishing those two topics, again the third topic which we are going to discuss in this lesson is Gair Munsarif, and after finishing the Gair Munsarif we will end this video for today. So if you are looking for these topics, stick with me, and in the next video I will be teaching you some basic concepts of Sarf, because for completing the further topics in Nahw we need some basic understanding of Sarf as well as. So in the video 6 I will be teaching you Sarf, and again in 7 and 8 we will be completing Marfuat and Mansubat and Majrurat as well, inshallah. And definitely from video 9 we will be directly learning from Nahw, Tasheel Un Nahw book itself. So let me first write the type of ism based on Arab. So types of ism based on i'rab. There are two types of ism as per i'rab. One is called mabni and another one is called marb. What is mabni? So let me just write this also in Arabic. One is mabni and one is marab. Now what is marab and mabni? For better understanding of marab and mabni, let's understand a very simple concept of i'rab in Arabic. Let me explain you this with a picture and some drawing first. By this method you will be able to learn this easily. Suppose this is a person and this is a wall. If you hit this boy, he will react. Maybe he will cry or he will hit you back or say something. It means after you hit him, he will react in any capable way, his own way. But if this is a wall and if you hit this wall, it's not going to react at all. Wall will not cry, neither he will hit you, it will hit you back. Why? Because this doesn't have any capacity to react at all. Now let's assume mabni as this wall and marab as this boy. Now what I am trying to explain you here is that suppose there is a word rajulun written here. On rajulun, if we add ala harfe jar, so because of this ala harfe jar, now the i'rab of rajulun is changed to rajulin. One thing which we have to keep in mind and remember always, that when we are talking about the i'rab, we do not consider the first, second or the third letter. We only mean the last letter of that word. So when we are talking about the change in i'rab, it means the change of i'rab on the last letter of that word. So when I'm saying the rajulun word change its i'rab from pesh to zair or zamma to kasra, it means the last letter of rajulun word, that is lam, change its i'rab from fatha to kasra. Sorry, zamma to kasra. Hope you understand this. Now remember, come back to our main topic. Where before ala harfe jar, there was zamma on rajulun word, but when we add ala harfe jar on rajulun, ala harfe jar force this word rajulun to change its i'rab to kasra, because harfe jar gives zair or kasra to ism. So this rajulun word simply with ease change its i'rab. There is no problem in changing the i'rab. So whenever any word whose change its i'rab due to the requirement or the placement of that word before or after any other word. For example, if any word is open to make changes in its i'rab, like if there is a word who tells, for example, suppose A is a word and there is a word 1. Now this 1 is telling A that change your i'rab to zamma. It says okay, I change the i'rab to zamma. If the 2 tells change your this A, change your i'rab to kasra, and it says okay, I'm changing i'rab to kasra. if an word 3 tells the word A that change your i'rab to fatha, and it says okay, I'm changing my i'rab to fatha. When any word is open to make changes in their own i'rab as per the requirement, those types of word are called marab in Arabic. Now let's understand with this Arabic example. I'm going to write you 3 different words here. Let's see. Here I'm writing Nasar. You don't have to worry about any of these things. Just look for the i'rab of rajulun. Nasara rajulun, that's the first word. Second, Nasartu rajulan, that's the second i'rab. And the third sentence is Marartu ala Zaidin. It's B Zaidin, but I'm using ala because B can be confusing with few students. So let's have ala harf. Okay, not Zaidin actually. We are having the example of Rajulin. Now, don't worry about the rest of the words. Only check the i'rab of Rajulan. In the first sentence, the i'rab is having zamma. Second sentence, the i'rab of Rajulun is with fatha. And the third sentence, the i'rab of Rajulun is with kasra. Now, the question rise here. Same word, but different i'rab. Why? Because I told you, just suppose this here Nasara is ask this word Rajulun to have Zamma. So the Rajulun word accept the request of Nasara and change its i'rab to Zamma. Now in the second sentence, this Nasartu ask Rajulun word to change its i'rab to Fatha. So as per the request, Rajulun word change its i'rab to Fatha and become Rajulan. In the third sentence, this Allah asks Rajulun word to have kasra and the Rajulun accepts its i'rab. So here in these 3 sentences you will see whenever some word approaches the Rajulun word to change its i'rab, it simply accepts that their request and change its i'rab. So these types of word which accepts the change in i'rab and change their i'rab as per the requirement are known as marab. And just opposite to marab, we have mabni. Mabni do not change its i'rab. Have example first. I'm saying Nasara haza. Second sentence, Nasartu haza. And the third sentence, Marartu ala haza. In these 3 sentences, you will see haza remains the same. There is not a little bit changes in all these 3 haza. Why? Because haza is mabni and mabni do not comply with the request, do not comply with the request of the previous word. It simply remains same and constant in every position, in every placement. So that's the difference between marab and mabni. Now, why it is important for us to understand and recognize the marab and mabni? It is very important because in Arabic, i'rabs play a very vital role in translation. If you change the i'rab of any word, it will completely change the translation. Even with the same word, if the word have a different i'rab, the translations will be different. That's the first reason. Second reason is why it is important to understand Mu'rab and Mabni, because in Arabic, after a few months, you will be learning Arabic books without any i'rab on it, without any vowels on it. So there you need to be very familiar with the concepts of i'rab. That's how you will put your own i'rab and translate it accordingly. So if you are putting the right i'rab on any word, you are translating it right. And if you put a wrong i'rab on any word, you will translate that word wrongly. So that's why it is important for us to understand the Mu'rab and Mabni, and also what are the i'rab acceptable on Mu'rab or Mabni. Now, as we have understood the concept of Mu'rab and Mabni, let's understand the types of Mabni. So in Arabic language, there are 8 Mabni, and apart from these 8 Mabni, all our words are Mu'rab. So Mu'rab are uncountable. Mabnis are very little and countable. That's why we are saying there are 8 type of Mabni, from which we are right now we are only going to learn about 3. One is Ismul Ishara, Ismul Isharati. Second one is Ismul Mawsul, and the third one is Zamir. Why we are focusing only on these 3 types of Mabni? Because these 3 types of Mabni is also the part of Marifa Nakira chapter. So Isme Ishara, Isme Mawsul and Zamir is also the types of Marifa. So that's why we are learning these 3 only right now. So let's start with Isme Ishara. What is Isme Ishara? Ism means a noun, a word. Al-Ishara means indicate or point. So any word which is used to indicate or point towards something or an object is known as Isme Ishara. A ism which we use to point or direct towards something is called Ismul Ishara, the ism of Ishara, that it is Muzaf Muzafile, like Kalamu Zaidin, pen of Zaid. Now there are few major concepts which we have to understand while learning Ismul Ishara. I'm going to explain you right now. Let's see. Suppose this is you and there is a tree. Now if you are pointing towards this tree, in Arabic grammar term, this tree will be known as Musharun Ilayhi, and the word you have chosen to point towards this tree is known as Ismul Ishara. So always remember the term Ismul Ishara and Musharun Ilayhi. Now, one more thing. Suppose if you are pointing towards an object which is far away from you or which is close to you. For close we have Qareeb. Qareeb means close, And for far we have ba'id, ba ya ain dal. Ba'id, ba'id means far. So in Arabic language, for pointing towards an object which is nearby or close, we have a different type of ism ishara. And for pointing towards an object which is far away from us, we use a different type of ism ishara. Similarly, for muzakkar word, we use a different type of ism ishara, and for muannas, other type of ism ishara. It means for pointing towards the muzakkar and muannas, we have a two different type of ism ishara based on the gender as well. Also, per wahid as per quantity, that is wahid, tasniya and jama. So not only we have categorized the ism ishara as per its uses by distance, but also by gender as well as quantity. Now let me make this easy to understand first. Suppose this is you and you are pointing towards one man which is close to you, or two men close to you, or more than two men close to you. Similarly, if you are pointing towards one female close to you, two female close to you, or more than two female close to you. Again, if that one man is far away from you, or two men far away from you, or three men far away from you, or one woman far away from you, two women, or more than two women. So for pointing towards each and every musharun ilay, we have a very different type of ism ishara, and we have to memorize those ism ishara. Why it is important? Because when you are pointing towards something, that ism ishara tells the reader that what type of object that musharun ilay is and how we are going to translate, whether that object is muzakkar or muannas, or wahid tasniya or jama, or close or far away from us. Now I am going to make a table which will help you to understand this more easily and clearly. So let me make this table. First, I am going to make a table for qareeb. Qaf ra ya ba qareebun. Here I am putting the muzakkar musharun ilay, and here I am putting the muannas musharun ilay. Similarly, in this column I am writing wahid. Here tasniyatun means two, wahid means one, muzakkar means male, and muannas means female, and jama, which is more than two. Now for wahid muzakkar qareeb, we use hadha as ism ishara. For tasniya, we use hadhani, and for jama we use haulai. For muannas we use hazihi. For tasniya muannas we use hatani, and jama muannas is similar to jama muzakkar. Let's understand this with one example also. Haza or rajulu, this one man. Hazani or rajulani, these two men. And haulai or rijalu, these all men. Then hazihi al imratu, this one woman. Hatani al imraatani, these two women. And haulai an nisa'u, these all women. So this table is for when the musharun ilay is qareeb. Now let's learn about when the musharun ilay is ba'id. Let me remove all this first. And now we are going to learn about isme ishara when the musharun ilay is ba'id. Again muzakkar and muannas. Wahid, tasniya and jama. So for wahid muzakkar ba'id we use hazihi. Oh, sorry. Dhalika. For tasniya muzakkar ba'id we use dhanika, and for jama muzakkar we use ulaika. For wahid muannas we use tilka. For tasniya muannas we use tanika, and for jama muannas we use ulaika. Let's have example again. Zalika rajulu, that one man. Zanika rajulani, those two men. Ulaika rijalu, those all men. Tilka rajulu, that man. Tanika rajulani, those two men. And oh no, sorry, tilka is for muannas. Actually I'm a little bit distracted right now. Tilkal imratu, that one woman. Tanikal imraatani, those two women. And ulaikan nisa'u, those all women. So these are the examples as well as the types of isme ishara we use to point towards any musharun ilay. Few things we have to keep in mind. Haza rajulu and haza rajulun. There is a huge difference between these two sentences. The first sentence, that is haza or rajulu, where the rajulu with alif lam, the musharun ilay. This is the perfect example of isme ishara and musharun ilay. Okay? So always remember, the isme ishara and musharun ilay makes an incomplete sentence, not a complete sentence. That's why haza or rajulu, I'm translating this as this man only. I'm not saying this is a man, a complete sentence. No. I'm saying haza rajulu, this man. Because isme ishara and musharun ilay always make an incomplete sentence. Now you may be wondering, then why hada rajulun is written like this, and whether are the haza rajulun also creates an incomplete sentence? No. This sentence haza rajulun is a complete sentence. The translation of haza rajulun is this is a man. Let me write the translation also, so this will help me and you to understand this easily. So haza rajulun, this is a man, and haza rajulu, this man. So why there is a huge difference between these two sentences, where the textual difference is having alif lam and not. In the second sentence haza rajulun, rajulun is nakira, and in the first sentence haza or rajulu is marifa. But only because of this alif lam we are completely making a different sentence. Second one is incomplete and the first one is incomplete. Why? So this is a global rule for isme ishara and musharun ilay, that isme ishara and musharun ilay both makes an incomplete sentence. Isme ishara is incomplete without musharun ilay, and musharun ilay is incomplete without isme ishara. So they both need each other. That's why we always use isme ishara musharun ilay together. But again, for any object being musharun ilay, it should be marifa, not nakira. Why? Because we already knew isme ishara is a part of marifa. So if it's a part of marifa, it's going to be marifa. Now, why we are not saying haza rajulun as a marifa nakira? So haza rajulu with the first one with alif lam, that's the perfect example of isme ishara and musharun ilay. But the second example, haza rajulun, where the rajulun with tanween, it is not example of isme ishara and musharun ilay completely. Yes, there is isme ishara and there is musharun ilay, but this is not considered as isme ishara musharun ilay as per grammar rule. Why? Because I just told you musharun ilay should be marifa. Here rajulun is musharun ilay, but it is not marifa. So in a grammatical literal term, we cannot use rajulun as musharun ilay here. We cannot say that here rajulun is musharun ilay, and if there is no musharun ilay, again we are not going to say haza here as a isme ishara. It's a isme ishara word, but right now in this sentence it is not isme ishara, because it does not fulfill the rule of isme ishara and musharun ilay. Still, if you are not able to understand this clearly, just skip this part and remember only one thing which I am going to tell you right now, is that musharun ilay should be always marifa, and isme ishara musharun ilay meets together to form an incomplete sentence. That's what you should remember from the all discussion. Now let's jump to our second topic, that is ismul mawsul. What is ismul mawsul? Ism mawsul, mawsul means the one who helped to create a bond between two things. So as per its meaning, it is very clear. Though ism mawsul are those type of ism which helps to create a bridge between two words, which helps to join the two words together. Now, how ism mawsul join two words together? What are the criteria? What are the rules? We are not going to discuss all these things right now. We are going to left these things to be discussed in our Tasheel Un Nahw book. Right now I am only going to write down all the isme mausul, how it's used, where it is used. We will be discussing inshallah in the book with a proper example and with a proper definitions inshallah. For now, just remember, isme mausul are the ism which is used to create a it's isme mausul acts like a bridge which fill the gaps between two words and join two words together. So it simply create the relation of two different words that they are both interconnected with each other. How, why, we are going to learn later. They also comes for wahid, tasniya, jama, muzakkar and muannas. For wahid muzakkar we have allazi. For tasniya muzakkar we have allazani, and for jama muzakkar we have allazina. Tasniya muannas allati, sorry, wahid muannas, tasniya muannas allatani, and jama muannas allati or allawati. Apart from these isme mausul, we have ma, man, ayyun and ayyatun, but we are going to discuss all these isme mausul one by one in book inshallah, not right now. Now let's go back to our third topic, which is zamir. What is zamir and how it is used? Let me help you with this example. I'm writing here Nasara Zaidun Amran, Zaraba Zaidun Amran, At'ama Zaidun Amran, now if you look into all these three sentences, don't worry about the translation and how I'm writing, just focus on what I'm going to explain. In all these three sentences, I have used the Zad and name thrice. Same goes with the Amr also. Now suppose I am about to write a 10 pages about Zad and Amr. If I am following this rule where I have to mention Zad and Amr every time and everywhere, suppose in the 10 page, how many times I am going to repeat the same name again and again? In the first, here I have written only first line. In the first line, I have repeated the Zad name 3 times as well as Amr name 3 times. But now if I have to write the 10 pages, I think multiple times, maybe 100 times or 500 times, I have to write the Zad and Amr name again and again. So I think you already know that it is very bad if you are repeating the same word again and again in Arabic, any sentence or any language. It is not good. So in Arabic language, it is prohibited and denied to use the same name or word again and again unnecessarily. If it is necessary, it is important, then we can use this repetitive word. But in general, we are strictly and highly recommended not to repeat the same word again and again. Now I'm going to write the another sentence, another 3 line, same sentence, but this time I'm going to use the zamir and you will see the difference. Now again here, the same sentence is written but using zamir. The translation of both these sentences are completely same and equal. But in the first sentence, we have repeated the Zad and Amr name twice after writing the first time. And in the second sentence, after writing for the first time, we have used the Zamir instead of repeating the same Zad and Amr name. So the first, let me read this. First sentence is Nasara Zaidun Amran, Zad helped Amr. Zaraba Zaidun Amran, Zad hit Amr. At'ama Zaidun Amran, Zad feeds Amr. In the second sentence, Nasara Zaidun Amran, Zad helps Amr. Zarabahu, Zad hit him. And At'amahu, Zad feeds him. Translation is same, but here we are not using the same word again and again. Why? Because in the second sentence, we have used the zamir instead of names. So that's why we use zamir. Why we use zamir? We use zamir in Arabic language to stop or prevent ourselves from repeating the same word again and again and make the statement and sentence shorter. Now, this is who, and this who represent the amr. That's why I'm colored the both word equally. So this who is represent the amr. So here who means amr is written here, not actually, but we can assume while translating. So by this who mean there is a amr written here. So this who is called zamir, and who is returning or referring to amr. Who is returning to amr, because this who is nothing but amr. So amr is called marja. Marja means a place of returning. Marja. So I hope you understand the zamir and marja. Now, how to use zamir, where to use zamir, all we are going to discuss inshallah in the upcoming chapters. Right now, I'm only going to write the 14 zamir and their meaning. You can memorize it for fun, and we're also going to learn this in the separate chapter. Huwa means he, one man. Huma, those two men. Hum, those all men. Hiya, she. Huma, two women. Hunna, all women. You can translate the way you like, because their translation is actually clear when we use in the proper sentence. Anta, you one man. Antuma, you two men. And antum, you all men. Anti, you one woman. Antuma, you two women. And antunna, you all women. Ana, I. And nahnu, we all. These are the 14 zamir. Its uses, its place, its ruling we are going to learn later inshallah. Now the next topic is غير منصرف. غير منصرف is actually one of the complicated chapter in grammar. So right now I'm going to skip all the complicated part and just tell you the very easiest way to understand غير منصرف, and the more discussion related to غير منصرف we will be leaving these topics for the book. غير منصرف. What is غير منصرف? See, one type of ism which is moro, which completely changed its i'rab. Another type of ism which is mabni, which do not make any changes in i'rab. There is a third part, or some scholars have stated غير منصرف as the part of moro. So it's okay, you can add you can use or consider or assume غير منصرف as a type of morab ism, or you can understand it as a separate. غير منصرف are those ism in Arabic language which do not accept alif tanween and zair kasra. For example, if Ibrahim is غير منصرف, we cannot add Ibrahimun or Ibrahiman or Ibrahimin. We cannot add tanween. Either we should write Ibrahimu or Ibrahima. Similarly, if we are adding ala harfe jar before Ibrahim, we cannot add Ibrahimin or Ibrahimi with zair, because غير منصرف do not accept tanween or zair. So instead of zair, we add zabar on it, ala Ibrahima. So this is the ruling of غير منصرف. How to recognize غير منصرف, how we can able to find غير منصرف, so we are going to learn later. For now, just remember, غير منصرف are very few and countable in numbers. So just memorize it by heart and you will find no difficulties in recognizing غير منصرف. There are few also other patterns too, which we are going to leave those patterns for book, because if we are learning from the book itself, then there is no need to discuss all those things here. Right now we are only learning the basic things, the rules and few concepts. In the tomorrow class I will be teaching you sarf, because it is required to understand the upcoming chapter of Nahu. So that will be the video number 7 tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow I will be the video number 8. I will be completing marfuat and mansubat, and after that the whole book will be we will be starting, whole summarization chapter is complete, and we will be starting the from the book, inshallah. That's all for today. Hope you enjoy the lecture and understand everything. If you have any doubts and query, you can simply ask. Assalamu-Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.